Greetings, Dabblings, and welcome back to Captain of Industry, where in the last episode we focused our efforts on improving the logistics of some of our coal supply. Specifically, we have now belted the coal to both of our energy producers, both the diesel production and, of course, to the steam generators. Now, we may extend that idea further and may even take coal out of the truck logistics altogether and actually belt that around the colony. But we've also managed to finish off all of the piping to use the desalinators, so we should be good for water for the foreseeable future. Now, there are a couple of things that I would like to get done today, specifically around the idea of getting glass research complete. That is going to be, well, it's one of the last gates at this point that holds us off from the remaining technology that is available in the game in the alpha stage. So let's go ahead and kick things off by starting glass making, and just because I'm finicky about this, let's also queue up edicts 2, just so that's finished behind us. And finally, vehicle management 2, because one of the main things I would like to use glass for is to get to the larger trucks and later the larger excavators as well. Now, before we actually start looking at the colony itself, let's also make sure that we've got our ship out and about doing things. Is it still repairing? It's still repairing, so it's going to be docked for a little while longer. Okay, so one of the big problems that we're having right now is we're starting to run low on coal. So I would like to expand our excavation operations there. We're probably going to have to move around the the concrete making operation a little bit, or at the very least redesign this around the idea of having glass making as a part of this this cluster of industrial buildings over here. We might want to move some things around a little bit as well. Finally, you may notice that sadly our iron production is more or less at a standstill, and that is because we're not putting the slag anywhere. Well, the first thing we're going to do in today's episode is to fix that. Now, there are a number of ways that we could do that. There's plenty of places which could do with a little bit more activity in this regard. However, I think by far and away the most fun way of doing this is to build out this ramp. Now, we've already encountered the problem with the ramp as it exists, in that it's a little bit too narrow and the overspill is a little bit too aggressive. So, with that in mind, we are going to go ahead and expand this out. We're going to want that to be coming back up again to about here. Let's bring that all the way up. There we go. This is going to be amazing when it's done, but I do expect that the innermost ramp is probably going to be completely covered by overspill. That's just the way it's going to be. We're probably also going to want an excavator over here eventually, because this mountain is going to have to be dug away. As you can see, it is actually going to have to be dug away quite aggressively in order to get us over here. That being said, at this point we could just come straight up and meet the ground. We would be going through all of the copper to get there. Do we want to do that, or do I want to continue the zigzags? Well, we can answer that question another time. We can allow our trucks to get on with that. It's going to be a long while. This is a big project for us to do. We could easily just build a ramp up there, or just a straight ramp if we wanted to do it quickly. But where's the fun in that, eh? But with regards to the coal, I think at this stage, our current excavation plan is, well, it is hugely ambitious. Let's fix this. Let's dig all of this back. We don't need to be digging into all of this dirt back here. There are much more efficient ways of us taking care of this. And one of those efficient ways is to do this. We're going to continue on the way down, maybe down to, sure, -8. Then we're going to flatten out around there. There we go. That is probably going to pull all of this coal down into it as well on the way. So that should be fine. Really, I appreciate the chill, but I did tell you no No vocals in this music. I'm using Pretzel Rocks for those who've been asking. It's a service. It's kind of like Spotify, but it is aimed at creators. I mean, it's a awesome little curated radio list, effectively, in its own right. But one of the primary features are you can filter by YouTube safe, instrumental, allow mature lyrics, that sort of stuff. So it's great for just adding a little background music to a game which otherwise lacks it, as we have the case here. Now, the next thing we're also going to need, if we have a look into research, we can see everything that we're going to need for making glass. Acid, sand, we've already got those covered, but we are also going to need salt. But we can also look forward a little bit further. This will make us very little salt, very little acid, and a fair bit of sand. Will make us 18 glass mix. Now, 18 glass mix can be split up into 2 loads. That'll make that every 20 seconds. And every 20 seconds you can use 9 glass mix, so basically 2 loads, 2 blast furnaces can be operating off a single industrial mixer to produce 8 molten glass, or rather 16 in total and some extra exhaust. And a glass maker can take 8 glass, so 16, we'll have 2 of them every 20 seconds. So this basically, one industrial mixer, 2 blast furnaces and 2 glass makers will produce 16 glass every 20 seconds, which is absolutely marvelous. We'll also be able to start making household goods, which will give us another Unity avenue with our town, which will be very, very useful indeed. Now, hopefully, once the excavators are done with their immediate jobs over here, in fact, I'm going to cut that back as well, cut this back as well. I'll allow you to finish the jobs that you're on, just because I'm ultra finicky like that. But once they actually start rolling down there, it's going to be so much better for us. Now, hopefully, all the excavators will get off that ramp nice and easy, and then we'll dig out from the side and then just open this entire pit up. And that should give us coal for days. One thing I am a little bit unsatisfied with, though, is honestly, I put this ramp here thinking I was going to help my trucks out. I've made life worse for them. They have to do, if you're lucky, a 3-point turn to gather the coal, but more often than not, it's like a 53-point turn in order to get out of that little gap there. So I feel that we need to move that around just a tad. But before we get too distracted, we are going to need salt. Now, thankfully, we've already got a production of brine over here, and quite a lot of it, more than we'll probably ever need, and we can use that to make salt. But I think it's time for us to remove our reliance on rainwater, at least for the colony. We've got water coming in from the sea. We're desalinating it. Hopefully we're starting to fill these. Oh, we're not. Why is that then? I can see exactly why that is. It's because we don't have enough delivery of coal there. And again, that part of that is going to be because of the shenanigans here. Though, well, actually, it seems that at least a part of it is because there's no coal to collect. Though, as more of our excavators finish doing the jobs over here where they're gathering a lot of dirt and a lot of rock, so on and so forth, they will move over to the ramp, and that is going to just be guaranteed amounts of coal being moved around. So I'm not too worried that I think that problem is going to fix itself in time. But I think it is time for us to say goodbye to these fantastic rainwater collectors that have done us so well for so long. We're going to have to say goodbye to you at this point. That does offer us an opportunity as well to clean up some of the piping around here, and an opportunity I intend to take. I think we're going to have the salt evaporation pools over here. Now, we've got 2 options with that. We've got the unpowered, which will take 24 brine and produce 12 salt every 160 seconds with no power requirement and low work requirement, or the heated evaporation pond. This will do the work in 1/4 of the time, but it will do it for 60 kilowatts and 6 manpower. So there's definitely something to be aware of there as well. But whilst we allow all of that to be torn down, let's get our ship out there and exploring. Now, we've got a couple of new options. We've managed to defeat back the pirates a little bit, but let's continue up in this direction, and then we're going to swing down and hopefully take out the pirates down here as well. It's going to take them 93 days to get over there. Well, I hope you enjoy the trip. Now, other places where we could potentially improve things. Ooh, what are we doing over here? We are lacking in sand. That is not a good thing. That is an especially not good thing, simply because over here, we really, really do need to keep this going. That sour water pipe is full. All right, once that backs up, a whole chain reaction of things backing up is going to happen. We cannot afford for that to happen. Right now, one of the problems is probably that the excavators, there's just 2 excavators doing all this work, and 1 excavator doing all this work and 2 trucks. That's going to take a lot of time for them to move things around. So I think we're going to do exactly as we have done with the coal. We're going to set up a sand storage over here. This will not allow any export. This one will allow export only for sand. There we go. And I want to export full truckloads. And this will direct the trucks to only this silo. Now, do we have enough materials? We do. So I'm just going to go ahead and quick build these so that those trucks can immediately go there. There we go. Right, that will offload the heavy work of carting the sand all the way across the colony to our fairly expansive vehicle network at this point. We've got a lot of trucks ready to move things around. Fantastic work has begun on this again. In earnest, I might add. Very happy to see that happening. Very happy indeed. All right, we've still got 2 excavators over here. Let's see how much work is yet to do. There is a fair bit of work there yet to go, but I think we should generally be okay. This one is almost finished over here, so I imagine once this excavator is done, I love watching the wireframe change, and unfortunately you do have to have that up to see it. It would be lovely if you had a mode where you could just see the wireframes. I wonder if I click on the... no, it does bring up everything. Oh well, it's fine. But it is really, really cool to see the lay of the land just changing as you watch that little wireframe just get pulled down by the bucket scoops of the excavators. Now, we are going to continue to see a lot of soil overspill. Soil, coal, a lot of these materials will overspill. Rock, not nearly as much. Rock is a lot more stable, obviously. Loose rock, well, no, but rock that is currently part of a mountain, very much so. On that note, how are things going over here? Right now, things do still seem to be doing okay here. I think I might add an extra truck, though, just to speed things up a little bit with the excavation. We're going to continue flattening this area out. Okay, now with all of that done, let's have a quick look. I think we can afford to change up some of these pipes. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and place you down there, place you down there. We will then... We're pausing it so that I can make this change without too much struggle. We're going to want another pipe going here, like so. And then another pipe probably going here, like so. There we are. And then finally, get rid of that one. There we are. Then we can get rid of all of these joints and allow all of that to be taken down. Now, I was going to stall any further delivery of materials, including the exhaust, but that's fine. It shouldn't take us too long. And there we go. We're getting some coal delivered. That's fantastic. Very, very happy with that indeed. Very happy indeed. How is the coal starting to build up? Well, now that we're sending so much of it over here, one of the problems is that our current input of coal is being tested. Previously, when everything kind of got equal priority for the trucks delivering coal, everything worked. Just it didn't quite have as big of a back of a redundancy as we do now. Our power is sorted. It always gets top priority on any coal deliveries. But that does mean that some of the other industries are perhaps suffering a little bit. All right, we're almost finished over there, which is fantastic to see. Right, are we done down here? More or less. Damn it. We need that one gone. Do that on a priority, please. I should have told them to do that as a priority anyway. Ooh, power is an issue. Why is that? Is everything running? What's happening there? Oh, drat. Okay. Right, so one of the things that's happening is that steam is coming down from the exhaust pipes, and that's great. That's running our low pressure turbines well enough. But you will have noticed that when these turbines get blocked, their output gets blocked. Let's see if one of them will kick in. They're running, they're building up their efficiency, charging up everything. But as soon as a little bit of extra oomph comes from a little bit of extra, there we go. If we look at these, if they get blocked, they turn off completely and then have to warm up again. Okay, that's a gross inefficiency that we need to resolve right away. Okay, give me just a second. And there we go. Okay, so a quick description of what we've done. There's still a tiny little bit of work to do. But I've gone ahead and I've added in a priority valve. As you can see, we've set this up to prioritize the incoming port of O on both of these. So what this means is that any steam coming from the high-pressure turbines will be given priority to go into the low-pressure turbines. So these should never turn off, even if there's low-pressure steam, excess low-pressure steam, waiting to get sent to the turbines. That should reduce the instances, or in fact eliminate the instances, where the high-pressure turbines have to turn off because there's just no available throughput. Now that does mean that we need to reroute some of this, and that is going to be a little bit of a potch, but I can see a way to do it really, really tidily. Ah, drat, we can't actually run. Oh no, we can we? Maybe it's oh, we can. Why wouldn't it allow me to do that the first time? I don't know, but either way we can absolutely make this work. Oh, that's fantastic. Come on, all the way through there. No, don't connect to anything. Nothing else connected, please. Come on. No, don't stop there. There. Yes. Perfect. Look at how tidy this is now. Oh my lord. Well, that is absolutely glorious. Now this is going to complain that it's not connected to things because, well, that's fine. I'm not trying to connect you to anything. We've easily got the materials to go ahead and quick build, and you'll notice that that is exactly how I got everything built so quickly. This is where Unity really does shine. Right. With that, we simply need to hook this up, and honestly, at this point, I feel that we've got a much tidier way to connect it. So let's just tear this down. It does mean that our exhaust scrubbers are going to be offline for just a few more moments, but that's perfectly fine by me. Now, in the rush to get all this done, I haven't checked out the location. Let's have a look. Our ship has discovered a new settlement. Hooray! This is a peaceful settlement we can trade with. We can invest some construction parts to allow us to take pop. Honestly, I don't think we're ever going to need to do that again, so we'll probably forgo that one. That being said, maybe it will have some extra use in the long term, but we'll come back to that perhaps. Now, we can trade steel for diesel. 20 steel for 80 diesel. That is an awful trade. We can trade construction parts for electronics. That's not bad of a trade. Or we can trade 40 diesel for 140 coal. That is a good trade. 140 coal, given that we've got practically infinite amounts of crude oil, that could be a way of us sustaining ourselves long after this coal pit is gone. I think that is marvelous. How are we doing with coal, by the way? We're actually starting to fill this up properly now. So hopefully we're going to be seeing... Yes, look at that. Marvelous. We're actually starting to accrue a stockpile. Oh, that... there is a reason for that, Aavak, and that is because you're not giving your people any water. I'm sorry, my people. There we go. Let's prioritize this as an olive branch. Oh dear. Look, I got distracted. You were running out of power, and that's more important. As we've already ascertained, you can live without water. Alright, let's go ahead and connect up the steam. And at this point, we simply need to bounce over here. And then just go straight over and connect up. I really love how intelligent the building system is to understand that because there'd be multiple humps here, just keep it at level 2 the whole way. And this can go, well, actually, let me just change this just a slight bit. You see, if I bring this out by 1, then the other one will make sense to be brought out by 1. And it'll all look perfect. There we go. Bring that up there and across. Bring this out by 1 and then it can connect straight up there. Beautiful perfection. Now, unfortunately, these are currently jammed. So let's go ahead and quick build this. There we go. On both sides. And there we are. Yes, I totally did quick build the low pressure steam pipes, but I didn't quick build the water pipes for our population. Shh, it's fine. Now, with that all done, I would hope that this is going to be able to handle itself for the foreseeable future. How's our sand going? Sand is still not going. That is an increasingly large worry. Largely because if we don't get that on the move, we're in a big bit of trouble down here. How are things? Is this sand available for collection? Oh no, you're going for the rock? Have a look at that. How about no? We're going to do exactly the same as we've done with the coal piles. Now, I would have assumed that the excavator would have prioritized going for the sand, because I've given it a priority for sand, but perhaps it means that wherever it just decides to excavate, it'll try and prioritize that thing. Either way, let's get you down here. In fact, how about we get a second excavator? I think we're probably overdue one for the sand pit. Do we have the materials? We don't, unfortunately. I can't just go ahead and quick build that. But following that, let's also get 2 trucks as well. Now, only one of those trucks is going to be helping out here, but that should be fine. Now, because I don't have rock or soil storage over here, when a truck fills up with soil or indeed fills up with rock, it will go and dump that wherever it's meant to take it. Just because I'm telling the mine control tower to specifically use this silo, it is intelligent enough to understand that, well, I've got dirt and it's specifically telling me to use a sand silo, so it can't mean for dirt, so I'm going to go and take the dirt wherever dirt is wanted. And that should all work out fine. There we are, just in time to collect some sand. Very happy with that. There we go. Hopefully this won't take over long for us to get going, because right now everything back here is stalled. That is a worry. Perhaps I should plan for the future and put in a backup plan. I've played enough Shadowrun to know that you need backup plans for your backup plan's backup plan. Yes, this has perhaps been a bit of an oversight. If this should ever completely stock up with... Oh yeah, we're getting low on the diesel too. If this should ever completely back stuff with sour water, our whole operation could be in a bit of trouble. So... with that in mind, let's go ahead and build out this area a little bit further for a potential dock expansion, which would allow us to do a little bit more with regards to having a couple of water pumps, but maybe even another wastewater treatment plant. I think that might be a good move. Right, how's things going over there? Right, let's go and check on our ship. Can you go anywhere else from here? No, and indeed no. Okay, well, that's fine. You can go home then. But we will be probably making use of that in the future. I really would like someone to pop over here. Thank you very much. How much more... Oh, you've got no more excavation. Oh, that's fantastic. So you should now go and join the other excavators, expanding the pit. And once that's done... maybe... yes, there we go. Perfect. Well, that means that we can start expanding this out properly then. Okay, well, from layer 8, let's build everything back. Now, this is going to bring us an awful lot of coal. That is of a very deep pit at this point. It's going to take them a long while to get down there, but it will be amazing once they do. There will be a fair bit of overspill, so this pit is going to be a lot bigger than that footprint, but that is just the name of the game, really, in that regard. Right, next plan then. Now that we've got those pipes set up, I think is for us to start concerning ourselves with gathering salt. I think we're going to go for a heated evaporation pond. That being said, we really don't need that much salt. But we probably need a little bit more often than that. Though if we had lots of them, I guess it would work. You could just have quite a few of these arrayed. maybe over here, starting... Well, I mean, we've cleared out quite a lot of space down here for various projects, so sure, why don't we? Can have one there, one here. There we go. Now, 4 of these will have the output of a single low-tier evaporation pond. Perhaps instead we should go with 8. That will give us the same output as 2 heated evaporation ponds. Yeah, I think I like that idea. Let's rotate that around a little bit. We can have the salt coming out on this side. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then have the pipe connected up right at the back there. Still giving enough room for trucks to go around the top. Actually, is that 2 spaces? Yeah, 2 spaces. It should either be 3 spaces or 2 spaces, I feel. Let's go for... sorry, 3 spaces or 1 space. Let's go for 1 space. There we go. Oh, damn it, game. A little bit of lag there. Quite often does that while it's saving. There we are. These are fairly inexpensive buildings, so I'm quite happy to build more of them rather than fewer ones which use much more expensive components. That being said, those expensive components are the ones that we've got in excess now, but still. Let's remove that designation there. Probably going to want to bring down the excavation designation over here just to get rid of this hill. In fact, let's just do that. There we go. Now we're going to need a pipe for all of the brine. And that can just run down here. Oh. Oh dear, it doesn't. Well, that's good that we noticed that. Oh, also, that one is completely in the wrong space. But it's good that we noticed that now. I guess we are going to have it spread out then. That's a bit of a shame. Let's go ahead with the evaporation ponds and we'll just build it back there. There we go. And just slide all of these back. And there. Right. Let's get the pipe running the length all the way down to the end. Connecting up either side. Do we need this particular type of pipe? Probably not. I'm going to allow trucks to potentially go down there like fools and get trapped. Actually, no. I'm not going to do that. I will clear the way so they can build this on the way. But where are we going to store the eventual product of this? I think we'll probably have a loose storage silo, perhaps somewhere around here. If we just angle that like so, that should be good enough. In fact, let's angle it just a little bit more like this. There we go. That'll give me a little bit of room to play with. In fact, if I bring it all the way over here and line it up, that'll look a little bit nicer as well, I think. For that, we're going to need... Is this loose? I would imagine so. So it's a U-shaped conveyor. We're not going to be moving enough product to need the larger conveyors here at all. Let's get all of these connected up. There we go. Perfect. And then the others can connect up there. This still gives our trucks an access point there if they need it. But we'll be able to have the conveyors branch over and the brine move in this direction. Now, how are we going to break up the brine? How are we prioritizing that currently? We've got runoff going in this direction and then priority going down here. So I guess what we could do is have it equal priority to chlorine production and salt. The salt is not going to use a lot of this, so I feel that wouldn't be a problem for us to make use of. Let's come up to about here. That does line up more or less by accident, which is glorious. And let's bring that up by 2 and all the way across. And from about here down, I think, we'll connect it up. I'm sorry, trucks. I've changed my mind. You're going to have to find your way through there anyway. There we go. That should all work. We'll see if the trucks can actually connect all of that up. It'll be quite impressive if they can, if I'm perfectly honest. Alright, have we made our spare excavator? We have. Fantastic. Let's get you over here right now. So another excavator and one more truck. Three trucks with such a short distance should be fine. We should be seeing sand being moved around. Are we? Ah, thank goodness. Okay. So, our sour water should be being processed once again. Let's make sure that the pipes are actually... Ooh, they're not emptying, unfortunately. We'll see. How is this doing? Still full, unfortunately. That is going to be a problem for us, I fancy. But hopefully, now that this has got plenty of sand there, it's going to be processing constantly. I could, as much as I don't like using boosts, I could use a boost to clear the backlog and then we can see where things stand going forward. But realistically, I fancy we're going to have to get a second one of these. But I'm okay with having a second one operating to not have to rely on a boost. That being said, you know, we are actually generating a lot of... an awful lot of Unity, so that's not so bad. Let's get another 2 trucks as well, just to help out a little bit. Now, are you actually going to be able to build back here? I'm going to be impressed if you can. I think they are. I think when it's actually blocked, they are able to wiggle through. They park close. And then get out and walk with the construction materials. We'll also prioritize this so that we can actually get salt production up and running. That being said, we'll wait to hook up the U-shaped connector until all of these pipes are made, because honestly, I'm giving them a hard enough job getting to the build sites as it is. Let's not intentionally make it any harder than it need to be. How is coal? Coal is actually starting to build up. Okay, I'm really happy with things as they're proceeding. I think we're in a good spot. And also, wow, you're making progress over here. Maybe we're going to need that excavator here a lot sooner than I was expecting. My lord. Well played. Very well played. On that note, well, unit limit has been reached. We're at 60 of 60 until we upgrade the amount of vehicles we can manage. That's where we're going to stick for now. Let's have a look at you. I could quick build it. Of course I could. I could make their job infinitely easier, but damn it, builds character. Also easy. Right. We could also go ahead and upgrade these at this point, though that would require construction components that we don't really have. At this stage, I fancy upgrading this before we upgrade this. And to be perfectly honest, I'm thinking of adding an extra line going down. This is more or less expandable for as long as we've got land to build on. So I'm not too worried about our production over there. As far as the coal for our smelters, it's not in the best place, honestly. But we do have production moving through as needed. The steel is one of the big components that we need. And copper is completely chockers. Yeah, steel is barely being moved, so we're fine for maintenance for the foreseeable future, I would imagine. Our current global need is 275. 2 maintenance workshops can produce enough maintenance on the upgraded recipe to handle that. So 3 is massive overkill, but it's the sort of overkill that makes me feel a little bit more safe than feeling wasteful. We're making good progress down here. Okay, well, it looks like I'm just going to pass a little bit of time then. But before we do, I will send out our ship to explore a little bit. Oh, no, we can't go out that far. We don't have the fuel. We can go this way, though. So let's get the ship out there and explore. When you come back, we will hopefully have our salt production up and running. So see you very, very soon. And welcome back to a fully saturated belt, well, almost fully, of salt. We have completed our salt processing area and it is doing fantastically well. We've also managed to reduce a lot of the sour water, so I've turned off the boost for the time being. And finally, not only have we completed our exploration, but we've also completed a bunch of research as well. We're going to continue with the exploration though. Let's get the ship back out there, but let's have a look at what we've got. We have got glassmaking and we have got edicts, which means we're now working on vehicles management too, which is going to give us a lot more options in regards to the amount of vehicles in our fleet. Right. We're also starting to expand the ramp down here. I noticed that my excavators weren't all working when it was just a 2-wide ramp. So I decided to tell them to start excavating down here, since I know that there is plenty of coal there anyway. It's just underneath a lot of dirt. So we're going to need to do the work anyway. And since the excavators were basically idle, I decided to have them eke out whatever coal they could down here, whilst also expanding out this area at the bottom. And things are generally working quite well. We've usually got, well, not now, of course, because I decided to say it, but we've usually got a little bit of extra coal there to be shipped off elsewhere. However, I have decided to forestall the expansion over here, so I've just carved it off. I'll allow them to finish up the work they're doing. But I do need this area to be expanded because I'm starting to feel that our production of diesel is slowing, and if we continue to expand our fleet, that's going to get even worse. So I think it is time to continue the expansion, which was always designed to move out in this direction, which will require that this dock goes elsewhere. Now that is a project for the future when we've got a little bit more work done over here. But how are our oil pumps doing? There's still 18% of the ground deposit there, which is actually oh my lord. Okay, a double battle. I'm not sure about this one. We do a lot more damage. It looks like we are focused. Well, we're not really focused firing, but we managed to take one of them out. That's very good news. But we are going to need a big old repair after that. My lord, corn seeds! Hooray! We can research the next best crop. Oh, this is grand. In fact, that's so grand that it's going to come before vehicle management. Let's remove vehicle management. Sorry, vehicle management. We're starting over here, and then we'll continue over there. Now, corn is going to give us a much better yield, but it does come at an increased cost to the fertility. Thankfully, because of the way that we use fertilizer, that shouldn't be a big issue, as long as we just have corn, or maybe corn and potatoes to give it enough time to recover after corn. Maybe corn by itself, which has a fertility malus of 15% instead of the potatoes 10%, might just overwhelm the abilities of our fertilizer to keep it at 100% fertility. We'll have a test, maybe run one side by side, but perhaps over 2 months running it at 25% loss instead of 2 months at 30% loss will make the difference. We'll have to have a peek into that. But the big star of the show now has to, of course, be glass. Now, how are we going to set this up? First and foremost, know that the industrial mixer is in the furnace section. Now, I think we could probably shift a lot of this to the side. I'm thinking we're going to want a central sand storage, which will then evenly distribute to either side. That said, do we really need this water pump? How are we doing for the water over here? We're doing fine. I think we could probably hook this up to the water coming from the industrial source of water down here. Where is that pipe running? This is the fertilizer pipe, so that would be you then. Let's have a look at where you're coming out. You run all the way down here. So I could, feasibly, relocate the sand construction, the concrete construction, maybe onto this side. Have the water piped in from the back, have sand delivered from, well, to be honest, we're so close to where the sand comes from that we might want to just take from that directly. That might well be a good idea. In that case, I think what we would do is make a bit of an adjustment to the stockpile here. All right, let's slow things down. I was allowing time to pass nice and fast so that we could get everything built in a timely manner. Right, I think, yes, we're going to relocate our concrete production. So the first thing we're going to do for that is put down wherever the concrete storage is going to be. And I think the concrete storage existing over here seems reasonable, though I might move the ramp in that case. And then I can have the concrete storage much lower down. And I think that would actually be kind of cool. We could perhaps even have glass and concrete storage a little bit lower down. Yes, I very much like this. Okay, time for some planning. Let's position you over here instead. Do we have the building materials to make this? Yes, we do. Let's go ahead and quick build that and then tear this one down. And we want delete for that. There we go. And prioritize the removal. Now, for the mixers, let's have you two probably... Well, actually, we could have them fairly far back if we really wanted to. But I'd like to give myself a bit more room moving forward because I am aware that the glass production is going to be a much larger beast. So let's have one mixer here and a little bit of space for the water. One mixer there. There we go. We'll just mirror what we've currently got going. And then we can have the concrete delivery right about here. That should be fine. There we go. It'll be a bit of a tight turn, but hopefully our truck drivers won't hate us too much for that one. And whoop, we want this coming out and down. There we are. And this one doing much the same. Now for sand... Again, I'm not 100% on taking from this directly, but what I would like is a dedicated pickup point, but also allow for sand to be distributed otherwise. So how about instead we do this? Now this is going to mean that we've got quite a large stockpile for sand, but if we place this down like so, and then have a U-shaped conveyor there, this can be for export. No imports, though, of sand. And again, only full trucks. But this one will no longer be for export at all. So it'll just pass down the pipe. And we'll quick build both of these just to get the sand up and running again. It is quite important for a lot of different industries. So that means I'm going to be able to branch sand out from here. So at this point, I really do need to know where everything is going to go. So let's lay down the conveyors. I think having the conveyors... well, since the water is going to be going in on that side, the conveyors can happily come down here and connect up, like so. And then the water pipes can just bump over here, like that, and connect up. The same on this side as well. And then we can just hook those two up like this. Well, not quite like that, I guess. We want them to go in this direction. There we go. And like that. Then finally, now that we're going to be using this as a pass-through, we will need that to be upgraded. But with that done, we should just be able to hook that up like that. There we go. That will all be working as intended. With that done, it is time now for us to strip all of this away. Now that is going to shut down our production for a little bit, but that should be alright. Let's get all of that done. Now, sadly, this does mean that we're going to have... well, actually, if I set this up for concrete and allow them to import here, they should be able to empty this out straight into that one. So we shouldn't see too much in the way of things being held up. However, I am going to want my sand output to be equally balanced. So we'll pop this right there, and at that stage, sand coming out through here will go in either direction. And to that end, let's go ahead and hook that up. Straight down. There we go. Now, do I intend for any trucks to have to go around this side? I don't think we're going to need it, especially if I'm building up the glass industry here. Right now, it's going to be in the way. But that won't always be the case, and we can afford to have speed move on a little bit more. 2 crude oil resources are getting low. That's actually good. I'm going to be very happy once we can get rid of these pumps, but I don't want to waste the resources that are there, so I'm hesitant to do it before they are actually completely out. And now we are actually digging into the coal proper. Excellent. There we go. Look at that. The coal is really starting to build up. All right. This was a beautiful plan with the best of intentions. Truly it was, but it has made far more problems than it has solved. So let's maybe do away with that, shall we? I think so. I think we absolutely should. And perhaps we could do something a little bit similar to what we've done up there and have a dedicated pickup. Hadn't considered that. But should we ever want to deliver coal automatically up here, which I might want to do? Yes, let's kind of lay the groundwork, shall we? So with that, then we're going to cut off delivery of coal for a moment. Hopefully, it won't be a very long one. There we are. But we're probably going to want one belt balancer so that equal amounts are shared, and then we'll have a silo specifically for picking up coal, since that is, generally speaking, going to be the one that is needing to be picked up the most. And we'll place that just on this side of the mining area. We'll set that one for coal. Allow exports but not imports. There we go. Now, I'm not going to set that up on this side just yet. You need to go. Can I get rid of you? Yes, I can. Good. Let's get rid of that. Right, with that done, we're going to have to speed this up a little bit. So with that, well, actually, how about we move things around a little bit? Have we got enough room for a third storage here? We might do, but it would start to get very tricky to fit. What I would want is a belt balancer right on the other side. Let's see what we can do with that. If I were to place a U-shaped belt balancer here, well, I could do it. It doesn't like the connection. That's a shame. Still, I could place it there and then have one belt come out and down and then connect up like so. And we'll need, we'll need another belt balancer over here. Speak of the devil. So in that case, how about we place the U-shaped belt balancer here? Like that. Even if I'm not trying to give it priority, it is generally going to be better if I use the belt balancer. Now, you may be wondering why I've got the belt balancer here. And that is that in the event that I want this to ever split in both directions, I'll probably want it to split evenly, or I may want to prioritize power, but I would want the entire contents to be able to move through, because 2 belts are coming out the other side. If I want them both to be saturated, 2 belts need to be input belts as well. Otherwise, I'm only going to be splitting half a belt in either direction. But finally, this can... I really wish I could build it up in that direction, but that's fine. This can go over there, and we're done. Right, we're going to quick build all of this, assuming we've got the parts, which we very comfortably do. So let's just get that all moving. There we go. And at this point, export is off. If you want to export, you can get it from that particular silo. Likewise, export off on this one, import off on this one. And we'll just get all of this going down. There we are. Now, we are no longer giving priority to automatic deliveries over deliveries to the rest of the factory. But hopefully, this will balance out in time. Honestly, if I'd had the room, I would have planned this a little bit better, and I'd only have had one drop off and then a belt balancer in place of this one. In fact, I could still do that, I suppose, thinking about it. Yes, because being able to give priority to the automatic deliveries is useful. It's basically fail-safing our energy, because ultimately we need energy to always have priority over everything else. Because if energy ever stops, then nothing else matters anyway. So let's get that done. Everything seems to be going okay in terms of our production. I'm seeing no particular issues. Excellent. Right, let's go ahead and pump this down. There we are. And once again, we'll quick build all of this. Can we connect that up? Yep. And that. There we go. Perfect. Right, quick builds, please. Now, obviously, these require the particularly expensive components, but it's fine. Right. We want to prioritize on O. Outgoing on O. There we are. But we are able to dump both belts into this. So generally speaking, we are going to give a fair amount of materials to pick up as well. There we are. Okay, everything is restored. But in that time, look at how much coal had actually managed to move down the belt. Let's go ahead and check in on sour water, though. Okay, it seems to be managing it. Excellent news. So we might not need a second one as early as I was initially worried. We may be okay. Crude resource is getting low, but that's perfectly fine. All right, so we've got plenty of concrete being produced over here. We are still tearing this down. It will take time because we don't have many places that accept water that aren't already full of it. I guess I could turn imports on over here, but sure. I'll allow imports to be on if they want to shift the water down from over here. How are we doing here? Doing fine. So our trucks should be able to move that down. All right, next step then is to plan the rather expansive project that is going to be glass smelting. Now, I realize that this episode may be veering towards the overlong side of things, but I hope you don't mind as having a little bit of extra time just to get a whole new industry up and running. All right, we're going to want sand coming in from this side, also salt, and of course we'll want acid as well. Now, I'm not really sure that considering acid is going to be used so sparingly, I don't think we need to worry about this, but I am going to pause it here just so we can lay things out properly. We're going to want salt over here. We can go ahead and have that one right next to it. It shouldn't be a problem at all. And we're going to want acid right here as well. And again, we can lay this one right next to it. Shouldn't be a problem at all. Let's hook up the pipes. We are never going to use that much acid or that much salt that we need an upgraded belt for it. Sand, on the other hand, yes. Well, realistically, no. If we have a look at how much you can use in 20 seconds, that means it's using 9 per 10 seconds, which means that a single belt which can move 1 per second, so 10 in 10 seconds, is still going to be fine. Still, I'll use the upgraded belt. I don't mind on that one. Next up, we're going to need blast furnaces set to use that molten sand and, of course, coal, or rather sand mix and coal. We're also going to need a way for the slag to get out. So this point, it does get a bit of a larger setup. So let's pop 2 of these down and leave some room in between. Not too much, but some. We are then going to want some storage as well. Now, can we get all of this to fit together reasonably tight? Maybe asking a lot. But are we willing to try? Yes, yes we are. So first things first then, we're going to want the glass mix coming out. Now how much does this use? 9 each every 20 seconds, so yeah, it's still not going to really need that much movement. Can bring this down and connect up on each side. Now this is not building for very much additional room here, and I am aware of that. And down here as well, that should split off nicely. Hopefully. Of course, I could have that one be a second pipe down there, and maybe there's some value in that, but I think that should be good for now. Next up, we're going to want the glass makers, and these are just going to run from the molten channels. So don't need too much room, but we do need room for the exhaust pipe and for the slag output as well. So let's pop one there. And can we fit this other one in place? Yes, we can, even without that being gone. That's actually perfect for us. All right, we want the molten channels then. Straight down on each one. Now, where are we going to have slag collection? Both of these are going to produce slag. Could have slag collection over here, frankly. That wouldn't necessarily be a bad move. It does bother me a little bit that everything else has double storage. That being said, no, this one only has single. I guess only one has double. So there is a precedent for this. That's fine then. So with that, let's go ahead and have collection of slag over on this side. Now it does mean that they might have to go up and around, but I'm okay with that for the time being. Let's lay down the slag conveyors first, and there's going to be enough things producing slag at this point that I feel confident using a much higher capacity belt for it. Let's go back down, connect up, there we go. Same on this side. Can we connect up to this? Or, no. We can't. It's because there's a turn there. Okay, fair enough. Well, let's cancel that plan then and redesign. Now, we could bring the slag backwards, and that is an option. We have left room for it, so how about we get down to here, go up by 2. That way we can stand proud over there, and over here, and then down. That should work perfectly. Same on this side, all the way over here, then up 2. Connect up. Hopefully we've got enough room. We do. I realize that the ghosted image may be a little bit hard to follow. Hopefully it isn't too difficult though. There we go. Slag there. And then all that remains is the exhaust pipes. Now, where is our exhaust pipe going down from? This is the exhaust pipe there. Is there anything else underneath here? That is our exhaust pipe from the copper. So all we need to do is hook up to that. That's actually going to be incredibly easy. We could go across here to do that. Oh, this worked out really well. Surprisingly well, if I'm honest. Alright, let's bring that straight down. And all the way over here. And then we can connect up to this pipe there. And this one should, because pipes are a lot more flexible than the conveyors, be able to just go straight up. And finally, do I want to 4-star trucks that have to take a sharp turn? Not really, not just for the sake of it, but it's gonna look nice. I'm so sorry, trucks. Truly I am. I am a slave to my finickiness as much as you are. That we are going to need to move that one just ever so slightly to the side. But all things said and done, we should be able to unpause at this point, and everything will get built. Ah, I'm so happy with this. I feel that we've used the space really, really well. There we go. Now, if we're crazy lucky, we may even be able to set all of this up as is. This is going to be for salt. I want no export, and I want import to half full. Let's quick build. This one will be for acid. Once again, no export, keep half full, and quick build. This one will be for coal. No export, coal, keep half full, quick build. There we are. Now that'll allow them to start getting all of this ready. We're going to want this one for slag. No import on this one. And pretty much empty it as soon as you can. And finally, this one will be for glass panes. You are absolutely expected to export from here. Have I set that up down here? I have not, actually. It's, oh, that's, of course, correct, because we didn't have anywhere else to put the concrete, so we wanted to allow that through nice and fast. We're going to quick build everything that we have the means to, which is probably everything at this point. Let's go ahead and, yep, we even have enough for the mixer itself. That is actually pretty impressive, honestly. Let's get these built. Again, under normal circumstances, I would just revel and allow the chill vibes to continue while I was allowing things to build. And it would afford me an opportunity to plan my next move. That's quite often how I play the game. I use the downtime whilst things are being constructed to think of what I want to construct next once that's finished. However, obviously, for the sake of YouTube and having this built before the episode ends, I am going to speed through things. I hope you don't mind too much. There we go. Now, these conveyors are rather expensive, I'm not going to lie. How are we doing on rubber? We're doing fine on rubber, actually. So I shouldn't have to worry too much, though. Still, this is rather expensive for the Unity. We're down 13 this month, my lord. I am asking a lot of our people. Still, they seem willing. So far, we've not led them astray. There we go. Let's get the finish that. And get the conveyors done as well. That one is almost finished by itself. Should I allow that one to be that? That's already being finished. Right. Yeah, we have enough to finish both of these. Where are you going? You're like, well, I was going to build something, but you just built it. You scallywag. I apologize. There we go. All done and done. We've got sand up to our eyeballs. So much to export. And hopefully we're going to see this start up pretty soon. Once we get some acid deliveries. Have we got a truck of acid on its way? You have a truck of acid? No, you have a truck of salt. Salt is carried in a tank. Interesting. How is our acid supply? Oh wow, you've got quite the trip to get in there for the acid. Maybe I should move that a little bit more. I mean, honestly, what I could do is just pipe things out to much more accessible pickup locations. It's kind of what we're doing with the delivery silos at this point. That may well be worth it, but I would very much like to see this kick in. Oh no, it wasn't a tank. I was a little bit surprised. It's like, why are you using a tank for salt? But no, they are actually using a truck for that. Well, I mean, they're using a truck for the tanks as well, but an open truck. Right, here we go. Acid is on its way. Our first glass is about to be made. And on that note, we're also very close to finishing corn farming research as well. Right, there we are. We've got acid on the go. Our first glass mix. Now, do we have coal incoming? I really, really do hope so. Have you been loaded with coal already? Yes, both of them have been loaded with coal, so that's fine. Right, let's watch this work. Make sure that everything is going okay. Maybe I've done something wrong. If we have, then you're going to see my disappointment live. But I think everything is as it should be. Here we go. Glass mix coming in. And will the furnaces kick in? They should do. Off a single process, there should be enough glass mix to run both furnaces. Now, the other thing with the belts is they work faster as well. But it looks like the time it takes to empty out the glass mix, more glass mix is right behind it. So it's going to constantly be able to produce as long as there is ample coal deliveries. And we've got some more coal on the way. That's awesome. I'm actually looking forward to seeing the effects. I don't remember what these effects are like. So there's the molten glass, probably now in pane form. Let's zoom right in, and that's being fed into the machine. Oh, actually, it looks like this might be quite an obfuscated process. Oh, no, there we go. Is it cutting the panes? Oh, it is. Fantastic. And there we go. First glass deliveries. Marvelous. Oh, it isn't a flat, rolled out pane, I guess, or plate if you want of glass. It is actually still in a trough, so then that gets poured into the machine. Okay, there we go. We are now making glass. And we have also completed corn farming. I am super pleased with that. Super pleased. After we get vehicle management, I think it will be time for us to research greenhouses and upgrade these. Okay, well, the last thing that we're going to do in this episode, again, I am aware that it's probably run on a little bit long, is we can now grow corn. Now, this is going to require a lot more water, but it will produce a fair bit more food. So we're going to have one experiment of corn there, and over here we're going to have corn and potatoes. Now the expected yield here is 6.25 a month. Over here it's 7.33 when it's just one, but we'll see. 7.5 if fertility maintains 100%. We'll have to see how this one does. Also, we're going to have to watch how our water supply goes, because we've just massively increased the demand here, but hopefully we are going to be able to manage it. We are producing a lot of water down here. If needs must, we can always tap into the ocean to top those tanks up a little bit, have a little bit of extra desalination. Of course, let's just double check the water for the colony. No, it's actually all looking good. Salt is doing well. Honestly, I think we've made a massive leap forward in progress here. The corn research especially is great. If we find that we can sustain one cornfield at full fertility on the fertilizer that we're producing, I think we'll go ahead and we'll upgrade all of them, and at that stage we're never going to need more food. Like, we're probably going to be able to carry forward with the food that we're producing for the remainder of the series, which, honestly, based on how much research is left to go, probably isn't that many episodes in the future. But on that somewhat hopeful but somewhat sad note at the same time, I really do hope you've enjoyed today's episode. As ever, if you enjoyed what you saw and you want to see more, do let me know down in the comments below, or with a like on the video, or both if you're feeling particularly spicy and want to get a little bit of extra attention from Saint Algorithmus today. But that is going to be it for me. I really hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next. But until next time, and as always, do take care, everyone.